Zoom to Facebook. Okay, beautiful people. Hello and welcome our Facebook community. We are here with Mr. Jorge Carillo from Mexico, Coach Holigral, Coach Mexico Holigral. And our beautiful discussion and conversation with my friend Jorge. It will be about something very, very interesting about leadership and adaptability and resilience, maybe, why not, and complexity and things that are hardships and new managers, new entry managers, or managers that are, let's say, middle managers and middle size businesses, maybe, that they confront. But it applies to all of us as a leaders for our own selves. So let's welcome Mr. Jorge Carillo. Let's say a few things about Jorge. Pioneering psychological modalities and businesses in Mexico. His role is technical director for the Holigral partnership. As a main promoter of the method, his main focus of work comprehends a wide range of specialties like psychotherapy, organizational development. We need him for this. He got a very big project right now in Mexico and around the globe, executive coaching and innovation. So many, many, many things, a lot of questions. I will have, if you see me looking down, I'm seeing my Facebook. So if you have any questions in order for me to adapt quick to ask Jorge, so and in order to all to participate to this beautiful beautiful Saturday evening, all of us, and learning more. So let me see. Excellent. So, Jorge, welcome to Greece through
Thank
Zoom.
you. Thank you very much, Roxani. I'm very pleased to join you in this space in which we can connect with the people, lovely people from anywhere in the world, of course. Certainly, Greece, it's the axis of this initiative of yours. So I'm happy to salute all our friends, and I'll be more than happy to share a bit of my experience, hopefully to touch some hearts, enlighten some minds, and motivate us to keep developing ourselves as leaders. As you pointed out, we need to lead our lives, and certainly this applies to anyone anywhere in the world. So thank you very much and welcome.
Thank you, Jorge. So, adaptive leadership is the title. So, let's start from this about the connection, and we are facing our in our fast-paced society and our lives that are so strong and facing with challenging times. We have a lot of uncertainty. How then we can start to evolve and to what skills are most essential at this point of time to start cultivate the new generations, or we as a generation that we are in the middle, and we have to learn new skills and to adapt again in order to survive. Yes, let's put also this work in these uncertainty times.
Well, yes, these are exciting times. I think in hindsight, from what has been happening through the pandemic and the late period of time, I think there's much of learnings that we need to properly digest. It is a process that we need to take our own time because it has affected us in many ways. Much of opportunities arises, of course, for us to use these learnings to improve our skills, to be able to create better environments. This is very important because at
Mm.
the end we are social beings. We are related with nature. We need to relate with the proper fields or niches in which our interests can be uh, put into the best of our skills, manifest our vocations. So I think we need to have a process of feedback, which I hope that anyone at home have been through this in any particular way. We need to reflect upon how we have managed ourselves, and certainly this can bring a process of contemplation of distilling the best of our own abilities to adapt. In this case, we're living in a fast-paced society with the changes and challenges everywhere. And we have to understand that until this present moment, and this would be probably an important aspect to reflect upon, we have been experiencing and engaging in societies in fields with an idea of monocultural perspectives. No? We kind of specialize highly in certain areas in life, but we don't specialize in others. No, there's this monocultural drive that I think it has performed very nicely, but we need to integrally come forward with a new sense of being. No, it's a new paradigm. So hopefully we can set up the first laying grounds for this new paradigm for any of us in our lives.
Exactly. And I like, let's explain the dive deeper because you share two um, different things and perspectives that we want to ask more and learn more about the abilities that they are been stealing. Somebody stealing abilities here, and about the monocultural perspectives that it's the driving force. So let's start about the abilities that are stolen or are lost, maybe we can say. What is your concept? Which kind of abilities we are talking about?
Well, I think we could we could try to feel our bodies,
Mm.
let our mind just sit properly in our sense of being at the moment, and maybe we can begin sensing what is it that there's missing about in life, in my own life. And from this exploration, from this sense of uh, observation about our lives, we can ask ourselves how disconnected we are. And
Mm.
this is very important. I'm going to try to relate this to a particular structure of the work I do because it is important that we can explore it by stages. And in this case, it would have to be related on what are my requirements at this present time? What is it that I truly need, truly need? And what is it missing in my own life? No? As you said, probably stealing what has been stolen from myself, but
Yes.
mostly how am I disconnected? What's missing in my life? And this is very profound because at some level it can relate to traumatic experiences. And if I can use a little bit of the psychological perspectives, because all of us have experienced in some time or another a certain kind of trauma. And those
Mm.
are the defining moments in which we change, no? There's a previous Jorge from that particular moment and a next Jorge after that moment. So, what happened in that particular situation in which we missed something? And this can happen personally. It can happen in relation to a dear one. No? Sometimes we're in a, let's say, in a romantic relationship or married already, and something happened, and there's something missing that it used to be a bonding element. Maybe that happens in our business, no? How is it that we lost the connection to what we were doing and we lost track of what was needed? So that should be the first exploration that we could do in order to create this new paradigm in which adaptability brings a new set of skills. So I think that we have to contemplate this very thoughtfully in our
Ye-
lives. So that would be maybe like a homework because
Yes,
it can be done now, but certainly it could you be used to in meditation or some other times with more appropriate focus.
exactly. But let me thank people that they are coming through Facebook right now. We are having Rene. Hello, Rene. Thank you for being here. Um, Niche 40. Niche 40, it's from agricultural consultant following from Cameroon. Thank you so much for being here next to us. Um, Constantinos, hello. Hi, Constantinos. He's my neighborhood next door. How are you doing? And we are having more people joining slowly, and or the people that they will see the live, or the people that they will see in the recording with their own pace and time. um, the topic it is how we are going to be adaptive to create an adaptive leadership. Jorge taught us about abilities that has been stolen from us, and he gave an example about the time that we're having a trauma, if when we are young or when we are later in our life. And there is the past identity, the past Roxy, and the past Jorge, the past one of us, and then there is something in between. There is a box in between, and there is the after, the new version after the trauma, or after the evolvement, or after the self-awareness, or after something. And there is something in between that has been stolen. And Jorge is giving to us now food for thought, or homework to do, to take a piece of paper, to take a pen, and to start write down right now what was the reason, what was something that has been lost during the process of our work. Maybe we can put this on the relationship field, maybe we can put it on other fields. So the first, it is how to try to find the missing links, the missing points, the missing abilities. We're not saying that the new version, it's more adaptive, it's the survival one, or the self-actualization. There is little different levels. So let's carry on with Jorge, because in the beginning you talk about abilities that has been stolen, and we start scratching now the ground and find out what it is. And then you say about monocultural perspectives. So let's a little bit share information about monocultural, and then return back to the abilities that are stealing in order to clear the ground. Thank you.
Yeah, certainly. Just as a brief parenthesis, maybe you could ask yourselves in order for this exploration, what kind of me was that me before that? No? If we focus in a particular box, that box, what kind of me, what kind of Jorge was before that Jorge? And then you can just let the answer emerge. And then we can ask ourselves, no? And what kind of Jorge was Jorge before that? And we can pull back even further to the past and try to explore how many things have changed and how many positive things we can retrieve from that exploration, because certainly we're going to reconnect with aspects, sometimes not necessarily positive, apparently, but they will be very enlightening in learning much about ourselves. So that's the way that we can explore what is it that we're missing in order to create new requirements, and with that clarity proceed into a vision, because we all need a vision. If we need to create if we need to find a family, if we want to develop a project, if we want to solve a problem, we have to create this idea, this compelling idea to move us forward. And let me try this out, coming out with this monocultural approach, because, and we can go back to school time, no, when we were curious to decide what would be our professional decision. And I don't know about yourself. In Mexico, the idea was so focused into one theme, no, that suddenly my whole sense of life kind of collapsed into one particular focus, into one particular path. And that is the monocultural aspect that I am talking about. It's it's um it's a reflection, it's a result of a society which has been lateralized in terms of the brain hemispheres.
Mm-hmm.
It's highly lateralized to the left side of our brains, driven into a single focus, no? Rationally doing that. And certainly that has one of the first consequences is that we lose this ability to think holistically. there is this idea of polymathy. I don't know, you're Greek, this is Greek roots.
Yes.
I love the language. Polymathy relates to a person which has many talents, a person of many traits. No? My experience, probably I can share this. I somehow, without knowing what would be my best decision in life, because this polymathy is very present in me, I felt conflicted with the idea to choose one path. So I decided to study law, just to learn later on that I wouldn't like to be a lawyer. So, but it came later to good use. And eventually life brought me to a path in which I began to develop different skills, different skill sets. So this is the difference from being a monocultural society, which reduces the scope of our own potential, and being able to break those boundaries, to explore those boundaries. What are those boundaries made of? What's beyond those boundaries? And developing the skill to to explore beyond what we have understood or we have learned or what we have experienced and developed that skills. It's a expanding our zone, comfort zone, as you were talking about this, uh, thinking about the box. And it's
Yes.
amazing what could happen when we have this audacity to go beyond those frames. So monocultural approaches are very useful if we are focusing with a laser focus into a single situation, but life demands of us to think holistically, to think of many ways at the same time, to explore and develop in many ways. So the invitation here is to try to do that, no? Even if it's a different skill set just for fun, no? Like a pastime. Sometimes
Yeah.
I've seen this in a incubation. I had an experience working for an incubator in a Mexican university, and it was lovely to help people to break those boundaries in terms of what they thought their business focus was. And
Oh,
suddenly people would see that their business would have manifold activities, therefore expanding their potential as a business, not focusing in a single market, in a single niche. Suddenly they would realize that their business could be have a potential in three, four niches at the same time. People would be like their faces of discovering, no, and
yes.
motivation, seeing the potential. So when we see that perspectives around us, wow, the world just expands massively, and I think that's a lovely way to create our awareness and our life in many ways.
Great. Thank you so much. First of all, let's also carry on thanking people that they are watching us on Facebook. It is John Farrell. We know our common friend.
Oh,
John,
thank you,
hello.
John. Welcome
Yes.
everybody.
When I look down, it is that I'm looking the Facebook and I write comments. So excuse me if I see I'm not. I'm doing it for this purpose to respect the people that they are watching us and they are here next to us. If you have any questions, please share them on the chat box, and I will transfer the questions to our beautiful Jorge Carillo that is here. Hello, Irini Mu, how are you doing? My aunt Eva is here, and a lot of people joining us slowly, more and more. So this is great. And
Excellent.
so let's take it again. Let's make a recap. Let's put it into more structural. My mind is this structural way. So to understand, I like the monocultural perspective that you share, that people in the past, they were more focused in linear ways, and starting from our career decision making, when were since very young age, that the society, the whole system was driving to one thought, one decision, and once you made the decision, that was enough. You did well, you took the decision for your profession, you are finished. Now you go to the other part to get married, and that's it, the life, the whole life. Now, since the times of uncertainty and since the times of different adaptability, it comes in fraud, because now there is no this kind of safety that it was before. So as a survival beings, as a human beings, we have to learn to adapt. And now it is this new challenge for us as a people, the challenge of moving from monocultural perspective to move to the more holistic perspective in order to adapt and adjust and to have this increase our resilience to life. And you share about trying to make some practice, like how we are going to change the perspective and to start connecting better the left and the right hemisphere. This is might we can go to this direction right now, and then to move back to the abilities that they are stolen.
This is a very interesting way of approaching the a new vision for us. We have to be very mindful that one of the most defining elements um, in these experiences that bind us, that limit us, are directly related to our emotional structures. This energetic aspect that it's intangible, nevertheless, is in the body. Sometimes it's not in the body, but we can sense of it. Uh, the emotional aspects that we have developed are so rooted in our basic personality when we are uh, younger than 7 years old. This first stage that is critical for our development. And when we want to develop resilience, flexibility, this sense of lightheartedness, because this brings us very deep in our core, very deep in the way we experience ourselves. If we could get to that point in which we feel this lightheartedness,
Mm.
which we have this flexibility because we don't get attached to emotional aspects. I think this is the best way to have the best results in what we're exploring. Because when we resolve these emotional patterns, we recover so much energetic and psychic energy of us that that energy can be put into better goals, into better requirements. We're energetic beings, and the energy we invest in emotional structures, the energy we invest in holding in control those unwanted aspects, and this is related to the shadow,
Mm.
those things that we don't like about ourselves, those things that society conditioned to limit about ourselves, and they have to be placed in a way that they do not expose us, that they do not put us in situations when we lose control of ourselves. All that energy is invested in that. When we release, integrate, and redirect that energy, amazing things can happen. At some level, this brings unique healing at physical bodies. Sometimes we can see that someone has a cancer, and amazingly, that person addressed a situation which was paramount for their healing, and but apparently by no reason they healed themselves. Life was saved because that's the effect when we can address these energetic aspects of us. Sometimes when this energy is healed, we can have that stamina, that energetic drive in order to meet our challenges and goals. So we have to be mindful that we need to face the demons from time to time, and that pays off. It's a really promising way of growing.
Of
It
growing.
has to be done properly. Of course, sometimes we unfortunately are carrying with us heavy loads of emotion, and that needs to be facilitated. But just putting our intention there, I'm sure that we can find the right help, the right ways to do that. So we have to be mindful of that.
Yes, thank you so much. So many things. So I was thinking before about talking about abilities stolen, but now it came something new, more. I think crucial to keep on discussing, because you say about where we put our energy and about the emotional package that we are carrying on our shoulders, on our gut, on our body. So this is stored, and somehow this energy, if we don't facilitate it, if we don't uh, put our eyes in order to somehow to release the trauma or this stored energy and emotion. Actually, it's the emotion that is stored, to find the way to release it from our body, our physical dimension. Then this might occur some health issues or some emotional or psychological issues. um, I like all this part because you have given us also a solution just to pay attention. Just at the first stage to starting from this, it's the awareness to pay attention to our body and where is the pain and how it comes. If we can discuss a little bit further, a little bit deeper layer, just one layer deeper, about how we can guide ourselves of while we are observing our body or our emotions through a traumatic uh, emotional trauma that is stuck in a part of our body. Just give us a little bit, one layer deeper, please.
Sure, yes, why not? Sometimes when we have this awareness of ourselves, um, maybe it would be useful to, instead of acting upon that, just question ourselves, and now, what is happening? Just allow the mind to bring an answer. And now, what happens? Because when we allow this emergence, we begin to realize that there are deeper layers of knowledge about ourselves, deeper layers of experience that need to be explored. And it is important that we can have this conversation with ourselves. So the recurrent practice and the invitation would be, once you're at home and you sense yourself in a way that maybe you don't like it, or maybe it's a thing that it's there and needs to be explored, just ask yourself several times, and now, what is happening? And now, what happens? These two questions are related to the hemispheres. When I am asking, and now, what is happening? It's a question related to the right side of our brains. When I question myself, and now, what happens? It is the left side of our brain. So we allow the emergence of information in parallel, bringing forth an integral exploration that our mind can help us to explore. And we can keep doing this several times, several times, several times. And the gifts from this particular practice are going to be massively, massively interesting. It's a way of contemplating with intention, with direction. So the question is the process that enlightens, and that is the beauty,
Yes,
no?
yes.
The enlightenment, it's in the question. So making the right questions in the right time will give us this opportunity to dwell deeper in our own experience. So this is an invitation. If you find something uncomfortable, carry on, carry on. Let's carry on and see how things move from one place to another. Then suddenly the place where I am experiencing at the moment shifts into a different awareness about myself, about the world around. Situational awareness will be more achievable. No? That is useful. That it's very practical as well.
Excellent. So it is, I like it, the connection that parallel we have to work with our right and our left hemisphere, and doing this enlightened question. So what is, and now what is happening, and now what happens. So this is the two questions. Beautiful friends that you are watching. Hello, Maria. How are you doing? And all these beautiful people, the people that are right now with us, or the people that they will watch the recording, the live later. If you have
Yes.
any questions, we are here for you to support. And you mentioned also about okay, we will share a little bit things about our shadow, about the things that the society they try us they push us to hide. And but now you share something that it is in my field of expertise about facial micro expressions, that nothing is hidden. E- Everything goes out through the face and through the emotions, even if it is half of a second or even less than that. But, however, let's see how we can find how the system they have, let's say, manipulated, and they push us to hide this shadow side of ourselves, and how we can facilitate and help ourselves to find this shadow and to move forward, to give this energy positively in order to open the mind and the perspective.
This is quite challenging because it demands skillful actions into that.
Oh,
Just let me ask a question. What is it that I don't know that I don't know?
okay.
Let's just explore, no?
Yes.
And let allow ourselves to learn a little bit about what is it about me that I don't know that I don't know. It's a tricky, it's a challenging question, and certainly it's a facing the shadows is a challenging work. By doing this, what is it that I know that I don't know? That would be another interesting question.
Yes.
And just write down. Writing is very useful. Let's draw it. Maybe drawing is very powerful as well. So that would be an interesting way to explore about our. Uh, and allow me please to frame the shadow concept because there are many ways to understand the shadow. Basically, in my field, in my book, it's everything that it's out of my awareness. Many things are out of my awareness, but mostly those things that are operating unconsciously, not because I am unaware of them, but I don't know them, that I don't know that I don't know them. So anything that comes from an exploration will be interesting way to shed light in those aspects that are on unobserved. Drawing is a very interesting way because you can draw. This is another way that you can explore. Let's do it just in a light way because things
Yes.
can get not out of hand, but can get interesting. And by drawing, you can also draw a little bit more around what you just draw. You can ask yourself, what do I know about that? Is there
Mm.
anything else? And just keep drawing, just keep drawing. Lay out a beautiful or a not so beautiful drawing, a piece of paper. The bigger the paper, the more information we bring forth. We are just unloading things about whatever we chose to draw. And we just can ask ourselves, what do I know about that?
Yes. Very
Or you
interesting.
can position yourself in space and just ask, what do I know about that from this particular place?
Okay, so you keep this exploration. Our friend John said the unknown known. He
Yes, no, no,
mentions, yeah,
no, yeah,
the
yeah.
unknown
John,
known.
John,
Yeah, John
John
knows.
likes this subject very much.
Yes, he
Thank you,
knows.
John.
Yes, he's an expertise on the field. We know, and thank you so much, John, for your mentioning like that. Do you know what I remember right now? It is like the part that we are having. The part that how I um, expose myself consciously to the people around me, to the work. The other window, how how the others see me and I cannot see it. That's why I make the questions to take the feedback about you. I don't remember now the model. There is a specific man that he has made this model. It's not mine, and how it is the totally shadow that we are expecting the unknown to happen, and then we're going this shadow to reveal and come up front in front of us to face our shadow part, but something uncertainty has to happen, something new that we have never experienced. This is another part of the shadow. And these perspectives that we are playing, we can put them now in leadership, how all this game can play over there. So a leader, he shows his face, his core values, his identity, his authenticity. He comes there in front of the people and he say, I'm here for you. I'm here. I'm the captain, let's say, of this boat, and I need your support. I will listen to you. I will open my door and open the heart. And if something resonates and help and support the company, we are going to follow and do this active listening and the great feedback and all these beautiful, beautiful things that are still in process for the company, for the majority. But the the shadow of the company, of these dynamics that they are stored in each body of the employees, and sometimes it will come out, how a leader can be more to can protect, let's say, the company, and can how the leader and the manager can protect the whole employees and the whole system more, or let's say, authentic and sincere. I need your position to this to place.
That's very interesting because this brings us to understanding the complexity of any organization. Any organization from the very starting, from the very beginning, will be a reflection of their own leader.
Mm,
Everything resembles to their creator. No, that's a key thing. The creator will organize things in an unconscious way, will set up the boundaries for the organization to develop, will set up the unconscious rules in which the team will emerge, the, the vision and the skills that are needed. So if we are a leader, firsthand, we need to explore everything about that because that's how we're going to configure the organization. Eventually that organization will fall into a particular paradigm. And maybe we can see that from the logos of any company, the mottos, the
yes,
Park of Life. There are many companies that have their own particular set of ideals or marketing or image. And you can even explore looking at the different logos, no? For example, the Apple logo, it's a good example
yes,
of it. We use it very often to portray what is it that goes uh, internally as part of their DNA, no? The archetypical configuration of each organization, it's a reflection of the owner. So when we explore those aspects, we can create a new sense of requirements for the organization, and then we can create the setup for our team to thrive. This comes, in my experience as a consultant, in relation very much to our leadership skills. Those leadership skills relate very much on the way we create we relate with our business. There is a relation, a chaotic relation. No, there is the object, the perceiver, and the perceived. That creates a relation between two aspects that, within a context, is going to create the emergence of many elements of that system. It's a systemic process that we need to understand. So let me give you an example. Presently, I'm working in consulting a big transport cargo corporation in Mexico. And it's very funnily, the manager, he has 31 years working in this business, and his leadership is totally focused in the logistical aspect of the business. So funnily, he's driving the car,
yes.
and he's so fixed in the logistical process because it's a logistic business that he has left aside, he has lost, he's disconnected in many ways with his ability to push the brakes
Uh,
and think forward where is it that he wants to go. So he's challenged in the way to plan ahead. No?
oh,
He cannot map the destination for his own routes. And this is so similar in the way he sees himself in the business that the whole company reacts to that. So to say it plainly, he has a big managing problem because everybody reflects his own leadership skills. So it's like a fleet of people driving the different cars.
yes.
So the challenge here is to make him understand that uh, he has to give himself time to put that modality of leadership in pause and allow himself to develop any other leadership skills. In this case, is strategic planning and crisis management development skills in this particular field.
Yes.
So any leader in our businesses, in our particular organizations, we need to allow for any other perspectives or ways of being as an integral being, as an integral leader, so we can address properly this multiplicity of complex situations. From the work we do, we have 7 different perspectives. No? This is the perspectives in which we have to explore those different perspectives which are related to psychological elements of how we build our sense of reality. As deep as that, our sense
Mm-hmm.
of reality. It doesn't matter if it's our household, it doesn't matter if it's our family, it doesn't matter if it's our business. Our sense of reality is rooted in these 7 aspects, and it is fractal. And this is going to be a bit challenging now to explain because comes to a model that we use. Fractal in the sense that it will replicate in many other areas of our lives. So if my mindset is just associated with this single, as a monocultural perspective, with single perspective, everything in my life is going to be biased into that particular modality. So we need to explore and develop this holistic way of thinking for our organizations. When we achieve that organically, and there are many successful examples, this is naturally happening. It's just a matter that we can facilitate this. So when we explore and we operate within this holistic approach to leadership, this is when adaptability comes very naturally. And when we have this adaptability, one of the things that I've observed is leadership becomes more reliant on delegating to their team, empowering their team. We release ourselves from this modality of control. I don't know about your experience, Roxani. Maybe the audience can relate because they have done that before, because maybe they are on their leadership with these perspectives. One of the modalities that people have is that control or excessively control things,
Yes.
centralize things. It's a reflection of this lack, this rigidity is a reflection of the lack of a holistic thinking. So if we empower ourselves in this holistic way of being, then this need for excessive control releases, and then we can empower our team adequately according to the roles they are going to play. And this is an interesting game of redesigning our organization, allowing the best people to develop the talents they can help into the organization, and giving them the requirements in whatever they need to provide for the system, giving them these clear requirements and empowering them in their skill sets, in their mindset, in their well-beingness. This allows for the people to do whatever they need to do very naturally.
Yes.
The consultancy firm I'm working at have been focusing into this particular way of thinking. And for us, being consultants in a particular approach, which is security, here in Mexico, it's a challenging job. Uh, this team we have set up moves so elegantly with independence from one another because everybody knows at this moment what they need to provide into the organization. And the leadership of the consultancy firm, they just uh, receive the deliverables from each of the executives, the consultants, in order to provide to the client. So the effectiveness this organization we have built,
Yes.
it's amazing because we have performance beyond what we could think in a previous ways of working. And this is a promise that can come to any organization, even if it's a family. So, thinking holistically, it's the way to root ourselves into a more effective and efficient way of leading our organizations. I'm not sure if I'm giving a
Yes.
lot of information at the time.
Okay, I will make also some small questions. Let's welcome more people. Mrs. Laura Argyropoulou, thank you for being here next to us. We're talking about adaptive leadership roles. And the question, because you share that we have to to embrace some more holistic approach. But let's say that the leader, he said, yes, Mr. Carillo, I want you to come to my organization to do this holistic approach to the managers, to the people, to the employees. Please come. And there are managers that the structure it is so deep rooted from the young age or from the environment and everything so far so forth. You know what I mean? It's so linear that and these managers they are having other people, other employees under them. How the leader, the CEO, the owner, the family business will and this manager he's capable. But on the other hand, there is this linear perspective. How the coaching, what kind of coaching, how you will approach this manager in order to embrace the new system, the new educational training in order to go with the rest of the managers and the leadership.
Okay, are you asking about a particular a
In
particular?
general, how you approach, how you, what is your way of approaching this particular manager with the linear mindset?
Oh, that's
You're
very that's,
smiling. The approach, how
yeah,
we
yeah.
do it,
The,
the how
the
things.
the least they interact with me, the more empowering the experience would be. So in my
Okay.
line of work, I just give them exercises in which they can write down, they can download, they can just register anything about their problem, and I will
Oh,
provide them exercises that are self-applied. It's
okay.
very interesting because it's like a Montessori system of
Ah,
coaching, in which
yes, what is it?
you just leave the person be with their information they need to realize, they need to explore. And the idea is to give them questions in a set of orders that will bring them to this situational awareness about themselves. So in my style of coaching, I just give these exercises and then I just let them be. I'm just aware of whatever they might be doing. It's what we call holding space.
Ah,
My approach is to hold a space in which an exploration can happen by the person's own means of exploration, and these questions will allow them to explore the situation that they are interested in, maybe a multiplicity of situations. And the idea is that they are iterating questions that will allow them to explore in different perspectives. One perspective would be to explore first the requirements. What do I need? What it is of importance to achieve? That is paramount to have clarity in our requirements. I don't know my requirements. That's even better, no? My requirement probably is not clear enough and I have to state it. But then we need to explore the concepts around that. What is it, the concept that I have been developing throughout my experience? Because those are the projections that I will share with the world. Sometimes they might not be healthy. Sometimes they could be healthy. But those concepts are critical for me to explore. Once I have that, I need to reflect upon them. It's like the relation between the sun and the moon.
oh,
The moon can reflect the whole face of the moon if it's properly enlightening, maybe just half of it, or maybe it won't. So we need to explore what does those concepts tell me about myself. What does that know about me? Because this will bring a very profound feedback loop about myself. It will be very enlightening. What does that know about me? Maybe I am underqualified would be a valuable question to a valuable answer. What does that know about me? I need to face my fears. What does that know about me? That there's opportunity, I can explore it. We can repeat that question as well. So we have to ask ourselves when we place down those concepts, what's the feedback? Because if we don't have feedback about ourselves, we're missing a big part in the exploration. So that would be another part of the process. Then we have to explore the context within these things happen. There is a particular context for everything. My relation with my contextual experience will determine many things. It's like being a cop outside
Yeah.
of the house and being a father inside the house. Two different contexts. So we need to explore. And what else do I know about that? It's a contextual information that will give me a broad perspective of things. It will enhance my situational awareness. Then with this, I can explore the causes for that. Where did that come from? That is very important as well, because when we reflect on how is it that things came to be, we can retrieve information from the past and make good use of that. So that's another aspect of the work that needs to be done. Once that happens, once I have this awareness of the whole system of information, then we can explore where is it this going to where is this going to take us,
Mm.
and now what can happen, because everything has a consequence, everything has a next a process. How is it going to operate? This is important. And once I have this exploration, I can explore, is there anything else? The manifestation of the whole system. The manifestation of the whole system is the result of these explorations. This is an holistic perspective, by the way. So the way I work, the way I assist people to have this possibility of actualization, which is important, you know
Mm.
this, we have
Yep.
explored this many times. When this actualization comes through this holistic approach, then the leader by themselves find this new sense of being, these new perspectives, these new insights, and everything else just falls into place. We don't need to facilitate anything further. This has different modalities of work, different depths of exploration, but that depends on the time people needs to invest. So again, we have to think holistically. We need to improve things in our life, and this would be a strategy for us to work with it.
Thank you so much, Jorge, for all this, the way and the journey, or the poriko, I will say here in a Greek translation. That means the traveling to Ithaca. Let's put it like that. Each company to find its own Ithaca. Maybe they have lost it to the core value and everything, and now they have to make all the trip through the questions, through your mindfulness or reflective questions that you have shared before. The people that they are watching us right now, or the people that are going to see the recording, they can just take a piece of paper. The questions, they are out, Jorge shared with you, and you can share it slowly with your own pace, and do the exercise later with your own time. I like all this process that we um, finally go to manifestation. But it is when it comes to an organization, because let's say it is, I do it personally with you to make this self-awareness trip and self-actualization. But within an organization, if a person doesn't do this work, or maybe if a department, and we're having big global companies that they are doing the job, how the leader, they are going to leave them to their own space again, they are going to leave them like that, or it's coming another plan, maybe another process that they have to follow.
I would see it in this way. First, we need to address our own personal situation as a leader. No, that's a sense of responsibility that any leader needs to integrate in their own vision. And once we address ourselves, our own chaotic aspects, sometimes even if they are successfully bringing us to success,
Okay.
once we do that, we need to sort out our relation with the environment. That is an important aspect. As part of the
Ah,
journey. Somebody said about the journey. That's part of the journey to sort out the relation with the world around. And that's another particular aspect of work that it's very important to take to consider. And once we have solved the relation with the world around, which relates to social conditionings, relates to the emergence of different environments or scenarios in life. No? The need to adapt to different scenarios is constant in our lives. But once we have this balance between ourselves and the world around, because we need to bring forth this balance in life, then we can explore where is it that we need to go. No? Once
Yes.
we have this balance, then we can project ourselves into a new vision, a new destination in our journey. When it comes to leadership, this brings very interesting. It boils down to project management skills.
Uh,
Period.
Yes.
Um, Culturally, different countries have very good managing cultures. For example, in the United States, they are very effective with this. Japanese culture is very much like that, no? Kaizen principles, for example, if anyone is familiar with organizational culture there. Uh, but some others aren't very much, no? For example, more like the global south, people from the tropics are
Yes.
more chaotic, no? It's beautiful how this they relates to with the geographical reality for any country. Uh, let's bring forth some cultural perspectives, no? The countries that are the societies, the civilizations that are related into the cold weather are more organized, more systematically focused. Of course, if winter is coming and I'm not prepared, our survival can be challenged.
Challenge.
In the
Yes.
tropical countries, that's not a problem, no? So this comes very interestingly as a cultural background. So wherever we are placed in the world, the managing projects is paramount because this gives us a left thinking aspect of ourselves. First, we explore holistically with the right side of our brain. You know, we have to exercise those neurons in the right side of the brain, but certainly we have to make good use of the left side of the brain, which is the organizational skills, goal-driven skills, um, um, which can create this uniqueness, no? Any leader who can operate within this balance of the two hemispheres is going to have a massive improvements in their lives. Certainly and coming back to the journey idea that was shared minutes ago, the the path to the goal turns
Y-
into the goal itself. It's a
Yes.
paradox that it's very beautiful to live upon this, no? So having these abilities to manage our projects and think holistically, this will bring massive results to any leader in any field.
Yes. Thank you so much, Jorge. I am going just to take a small mention that our friend John Farrell make on the here on the comments. You mentioned holding the space, a common term in coaching. But when you say this, it means so much more. Can you explore your definition of holding the space? So we share this, John. Thank you for being here next to us. And thank you, Laura and Maria, and all the people that you are here. And that's it. We can explore a little bit further. We can dive deeper layers. And if you want, Jorge.
Oh, sure. Well, the notion of holding space, it's so profound. Thank you, John, because you are allowing ourselves to understand something in a very depth way. We seldomly are in need to hold space in many ways in life. A loving father that needs to support their kids, a business owner which needs to bring forth a team, a coach or a psychologist that needs to create this place for healing. All those are examples of holding space, and all those uh, contexts or environments need different requirements. But at the core, holding space, if we're doing it with such a sense of awareness, it allows for the deepest experience in human life, in my experience, which is service to others, which is something that transforms us spiritually, socially, family wise. So holding space is this attitude first towards ourselves in order not to project, not to control, not to engage in a way that hinders the ability for any other people around, which needs to be held, to express themselves safely. Is this relation between two elements, two peoples, two individuals, or an individual and a group, in which someone allows the facilitation without interfering. When we do that, we bring ourselves this state of mind, of this beingness, in which there is acceptance. And by having this acceptance, energetically, the other person emerges as they are. And when they emerge as they are, they can allow themselves to transform, to evolve in ways that are unbelievable. This interestingly relates by as being a father or a mother when we have a little kid and we just allow our kids to be, allow our kids to express themselves, allow our kids to feel safe in order to move around and bring forth greatest awareness of the world, but we are taking care of them because this is like a contract, no? We are we're responsible for the well-beingness of that person when we are holding space. It's a very elevated, it's a very high responsibility as well. So holding space allows for everything to change positively when it is done purposefully. No? When
Perfectly.
we are parents, when we are spouses, that we want to project our emotions, to get our things done the way we want, to to sometimes to impose our way of being into the other person, the the result is going to be completely the opposite. But when we can hold the space, first of all, by holding ourselves or just cleaning all that things that are unnecessary, it's the best place in which we can allow for an environment to thrive. So if we turn this into a leadership skill, when
Yes.
we can allow ourselves to understand what is it that any of our teammates need, what is it that they are experiencing, whether they are understanding, and we just don't engage, we just allow them to bring forward all those interests, all those questions, all those challenges. We can learn about that person, and when I learn about that person, I can facilitate them, I can empower them, and that's how we can build high performing teams. So this opportunity to explore the holding space concept, John, it's marvelous. I think I fall short of it anyway. It can go further down into the spiritual sense.
Exactly. And John said another, Tibaria, thank you. Thank you so much. My mentor, Tibaria, is here. Thank you for being here. I was so inspired from you as well. And so many people, sorry, Jorge, but it's my mentor here. Now she's watching us.
Welcome.
And
Yes, that's exciting.
I'm so happy. I'm so happy. And John said also another beautiful things I will share, and we do share this question with all of our audience. Uh, John's words. You mentioned emotional events that shape us. This can come from our young life, preverbal, genealogical, and cultural consciousness. Our culture, just a moment because it's bigger, our culture has tremendous, culture has tremendous influence on our identity, our peers, family, our environment. They shape who we are because we are social animals, wanting to fit in, often causing our shadows. My question is, once you do this work, integrate those shadows, evolve a more non-dual identity, how do then go back into society culture? It hasn't changed you, can end up outside. With limited social interaction, this is good. Yes, John, you are amazing. Our friend John Farrell.
Okay, thank you, John.
Um,
Ancestrally, there have been always people who are living outside of society, no, the hermits or people who are not conform to the norm, people who are experiencing life in a ways that we are socially not allowed to. No, it's very interesting. It's in the spiritual world. This is very common. People that they need to be out of the world to in order to experience their own sense of spirituality or life. And by addressing these aspects of self, and I hope I can get the John's question properly. Sometimes we break so deeply rooted conditionings, such boundaries that bind us in a way that we need to escape from what we used to be before that. This is a bit of a warning. If we break our conditionings to the point that this happens, sometimes that might not be very healthy. So we need to also understand that there are things that are meant for a few. What do I mean by this? The work I do allows for things to finish their life cycle. Sometimes we hold back certain situations because we don't want to finish them off properly. So there is a lot of unresolved issues, conscious and unconsciously. And the idea of the work I do, and John is familiar to this work, is to allow the life cycles of that is not useful to finish, to be released and allow for a new sense of self. In some level, that allows us to allow for improving our performance and our life experience, our way of relating, our sense of where I want to go. But just imagine uh, what would happen if we do so in a level that whatever has been created previous to that and depends upon that, it's no longer needed or it's no longer useful. Maybe you can fathom what would happen in that matters. And this means that probably by releasing ourselves from the need to achieve, to belong, to do, the things get to a point that we change so much that sometimes we seem to be not we exit the matrix, from like the
Yes.
movie.
Yes.
We release ourselves from the matrix, and sometimes that might not be very useful. No, I have had experiences of people that saying, okay, I've been working for finance for many years and now I don't want to do anything about that. Wow, but they've created an organization. They have developed meaningful relations. Probably they can live with those relations, but what about the others? No? What if I don't have a family system and now I don't feel that the family system is needed anymore? But they do need they need my presence there. So there are boundaries that probably are not supposed to be crossed if unless we have the possibility to do so sustainably without affecting others.
Others.
But certainly that does not happen very often. It's just for the few. But I'm not sure if that was John's question about breaking the conditionings to the point that something happens in these regards.
Okay, let's wait for our friend John to reply. We have Josie, my friend here. Hello, Josie. Thank you for being here with Tibaria.
Hello, welcome.
Nice, beautiful peoples and souls and spiritual beings. And let's put it all together and let's make a nice, beautiful recap. And if you have time, we can do another discussion in a later stage as a continuum to this beautiful journey that Odiporiko in Greece that you took us today about leadership and adaptive leadership after all. And I like the way that you shared at the end and about how we live and holding the space. I keep this that John said to holding space for people to express themselves, like small kids, like the parents they are doing. They leave the kids to play, to be playful, to discover things and all this, to smell things, to try things. but they have the responsibility as a leader. We have the responsibility to be there, to care, to support, to. So we hold the space, meaning that yes, you have the freedom to express, to explore, to do the things, to do the mistakes, to do the wrong thing sometimes. Let's say the wrong email or the wrong negotiation or something that, okay, it happens. We are people. But I'm next to you to support, to take care of you. And I want like just a small phrase in order to conclude all from you, Jorge, and to thank you for being here, of course. And
Thank you very much.
so if you want to add something about this essence of leadership, the ideal leadership mindset.
Well, the art of leadership has been explored by many people. I think it's a subject that constantly it's bringing revelations. There's massively there's great exponents of leadership. Then I wouldn't like to compete with them. Certainly, they have their own place in this field. But my sense of leading first comes to the point of being responsible of our own selves.
Mhm.
No? Sometimes we are so focused in leading, no, guiding something, going to the goal that we lose this perspective of our own self. And I think it is important at these present times. Uh, a few years ago, I like to collect a lot of statistics because that's part of what gives a lot of frame to my work. And some years ago, I was observing a tendency in which depression was one of the most, it would be by 2020, would be the first cause of absence at work.
Oh.
This has come true. There is the true pandemic, and I think I don't voice it enough. The true pandemic is the mental health condition everywhere in the world. So we reached this point I'm talking about. The pandemic kind of triggered things even further away from this. I mean, it has made this even more acute. So, us as leaders, we have to reflect upon our own sense of wellness, our own sense of being, because whatever we do is going to have an influence in the world around. And if we are mindful of that context of mental health and how do we feel of how what's our own particular experience, the best influencing self I can be is one which has this quality of life,
Mm.
because everything comes from that. Our own most valuable assets, which might be probably our family, of course, our own personal health, but our family. As leaders, as a family leader, we are meant to care and hold for others to protect them. No, that's a most important aspect of the leadership, to take care of the team. If I am a parent, I have to take care of my family. Where is it? Where am I placed? How is it the way I'm doing this? So I think that is the key element for any kind of adaptability skills we need to set. For any kind of social responsibility we are out to cherish. So please let's keep that in mind. There are many styles of leadership. There are many destinations as leaders, but the most important one is the journey, inwards journey. It's I think it's needed in the world at this present time. So that would be probably the message I have for anyone who wants to develop adaptability skills in the sense of leadership. I think
Well,
that's the most
yeah.
important part of all.
So, Jorge, thank you so much for being here. We are going to carry on with our conversation and discussions during 2024 for sure. Thank you for your knowledge and your time. It's precious for us. And I would like to thank all the people, the beautiful audience that we have, the people that are watching from our community here on Facebook, and the people that they are going to watch the recording with their own pace. And we keep it for the end, just like the family that take care of our family. Same, the leaders, they have to take care of their own team. Jorge Carillo, thank you so much. Amazing people that you are here. Thank you also as well, and keep in touch. If you have any question, you just type it on the comments below, and I will share the question to Jorge, and I will come back to reply. Thank you. Bye for now. Bye.
Thank you very much, and everybody, thank you, and wish you the best.